The other thing I wanted to talk about is the cost list that's in the DIY guide. There's a couple of things that are kind of like, I don't know, essentially boring information if it's like if you've been releasing music, or it's like you need to have a distributor so you can get your music on Spotify and stuff like that. And you need to pay for art, which is always a first time experience, and being like, oh, this actually should be expensive, because if it's not, you're probably getting something lower quality. And I think the same goes for studio recording and
Mm.
producing and mixing and everything. And um, yeah, but towards the other end of it, there's more marketing and promotion stuff included. So one of the things that I thought was interesting was €1,000 was kind of put aside for video production, for especially for YouTube and that kind of thing. There's a lot of sort of sentiment that obviously people want to make music videos because they're cool, but that the time for music videos has passed a little bit. Um, why why do you think that's still important to do
Mm.
music videos?
I think it's important to make snippets
Right.
for social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I still always recommend to do at least one video, music video, for creative reasons,
Right.
and also to really have an expression of what you like, a visual expression of what you're doing there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we usually recommend, and that's what we also usually get from campaigns. Like, there's at least one video.
Right.
And then you take that video, you use it for promotion, yeah, to put on blogs, etc. But you mostly use it to take the snippets out and to put it on social media. Because like one video gives you up to 10 snippets,
Yeah.
which you can use. But I would, again, like, this is of course marketing wise important, but I really think you have to do this out of creative reasons, you
Mm-hmm.
know like, imagining I want to be a music if I was a musician, that would be one of my favorite things to do,
Yeah.
to do a fucking music video. And just also out of melancholic reasons, but I just think it's such a shame that these things are, yeah, like, missing,
Mm-hmm.
and that people do not put so much effort in it anymore. And I mean, the €1,000, it's just, it doesn't have to be €1,000.
Yeah.
It can be 200, but it also can be 10,000. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it really depends on what you want to do there. Um, I've seen videos that have cost, I don't know, €10, and they're like fucking amazing,
Yeah.
But I really think you have to use a visual. Have to. You don't have to. Like, you don't have to do anything,
Mm-hmm.
but it's important, to, if you've made the music, to find as many other layers that you can get, because an album is so much more, so much work,
Mm-hmm.
like so much work, like
Yeah.
and it can like just puff like in seconds, like some artists come up to us saying, "Yeah, I'm releasing an album tomorrow. Do you want to do promotion, or next week?" And I was like, "No, like, we need time." Like, and then the album's out and it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they need, these things are important to keep the people on it. To make them aware of what's happening,
Yeah.
and really to show them who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And also show them who you're working with. You can, like, if you uh, don't have so much money, you can also go up to a university for arts or whatever, tell them, "Hey, I'm having this album and I'm looking for someone who wants to cooperate with me, doing a video for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is your piece of art, this is my piece of art, and we're coming together."
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities if you don't have so much money. You should think more on the creative side, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah. Cool. Again, it's, I guess, obviously just sort of a number, um, and it's an estimate, and it is flexible. But you suggest 2K for radio promotion. Where does that money go?
That money goes into the really hard work. Like, usually, once this is about one single on an indie level.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay up to €10,000 per single. If it's like charts, if you want to go into the charts, can be even more expensive. But we're talking about indie music, and this is usually including MPN.
Mm-hmm.
MPN is like a national plugging system where the song gets plugged or the whole album gets plugged, and then TV, for example, also can take out the song and use it. Radio
Mm-hmm.
can take out the song. It's important to have it because this is usually the first memo to journalists, like to radio editors. Like otherwise, it's hard to do radio promotion. And so you plug that, and then you also do personal pitches to the editors. You use your contacts. You try to convince them,
Mm-hmm.
and radio promo takes a bit longer than online because the like the time is longer. Like you have to follow up again, and it's a very slow wheel until the song gets like plugged.
Right.
Sometimes you following up again, and then something happens. Of course, if you have an artist that's already happening, it's not so hard. But if you, it can, yeah, like an example, you start a PR, like a radio PR with an indie artist, and then 2 weeks later they get synced,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden you have a new argument, like stuff like that. And this is a good thing with radio promotion. So the money goes into the plugging, but it overall goes into the really hard work that you do.
Mm-hmm. You also talked about MPN on social media at some point about how it's not really a platform for artists but for PR agencies. Why is that?
Because you have to have a profile. And if you have a profile, then you also have to be like promotion. Like it's not just, you can't just make a profile and then people look at it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to be there for a while. You have to have a profile that journalists recognize, and
Right.
it's the same like with PR. I think it's really, I really think like people always think PR is easy and stuff, but it's not. It's like this is actually the part of the music marketing that you cannot just put money in, it works. Like the contacts we've been worked on for decades,
Yeah.
and this is the capital you have. This is what you get paid for,
Mm-hmm.
and this is also what happens with MPN.
Right.
So what you can do is like you can pay a PR agent or a radio plugger, tell them, hey, I don't have so much money, but do you want to plug my song? And yeah, I have this and this money. Like this works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some do that. Yeah.
Interesting. And the last thing on the list was you suggest about 1,000 for digital promo for a single. If you had €1,000, where would that go into different things?
Digital promo. Yeah, I'm not such a big fan of it, but it's probably important.
Mm-hmm. Why are you not such a big fan of it?
I always think that things have to be natural. Like people have to like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to put money into things and then here eat it. But it's probably a naive of me. I would. It depends on what you do. Like if you have a really cool music video, I would probably put it on Instagram or YouTube. Um, you could, for example, if you have an album release or if you have a ticket sale, you can put that into could put some money into that. So people see that.
I mean, as sort of ads.
Sort of ads.
Right.
Yeah. You could also, if you have a distributor and they have different packages they offer, you can pay them as well, or you have to pay for some packages and then they take more care of plugging you into certain things. Some of them even offer sync. It's like, I mean, spending €1,000 is not hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more like you really have to understand what you want,
Right.
because it's an easy question and it sounds easy, but it's not clear.
Yeah.
Like when you make music and when you release an album, you can have different purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Like some just want that people listen to it.
Yeah.
Some just want to sell tickets. Some want to be the coolest person on earth and they just want to get synced to the next euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it really depends on what you want. And if you can decide on what you want, then you probably know where to put your money in. It usually makes sense to put money into something that already works. You know, like if you have, for example, a TikTok video that has been successful, then it makes sense to put money on that. It doesn't make any sense to put money into a TikTok video that doesn't perform. Like
Yeah.
it won't perform, you
Mhm.
know? Yeah. But it's just like the numbers are just like a bit made up, you know,
Yeah.
because it can be,
Yeah. It's like an
you know,
estimate of like
yeah,
this would work.
can be anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any section you think of doing PR where there is sort of a minimum amount of money that has to go into it to make it work?
For PR,
Yep.
I think you have to put some money into, like, what I can always recommend if you come to Germany, if you are in Germany and you have your first EP out or your first album, I would try to get a deal where you get first tastemakers on board, which is online and print,
Mm-hmm.
because usually they also work on both. It's sometimes stupid, you know,
Yeah.
to divide these things, because
Mm-hmm.
and a radio single. Because radio is still the most important thing in Germany. It's super relevant, has a huge reach, and it gives you back royalties in the end. So it's
Yeah.
the only PR that actually gives you back money,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I would try to get a deal which is a bit more about really focused on getting the name out and try to cover all of these.